Here's a hot tip nobody tells you about when you're married to a firefighter. The power of going first. Going first can have so many different meanings, especially in the fire service. Fire spouses in particular are so used to waiting. We're waiting for them to come off shift. We're waiting for the next mando. We're waiting for the next promotion. We're always waiting for something. We're waiting for the next shoe to drop. What if you stopped waiting and actually just went first? Simple concept, right? Ask the questions. Check in when your firefighter is supposed to be coming home. See if they're going to get mandoed that day. Stop waiting. Find out when the next promotion is scheduled. Ask the questions. Be the first one to reach out that hand when your spouse comes home and they look exhausted. Talk to them first. Pretty simple, right? And then beyond that, what if you actually picked up the phone to call that new fire spouse, or you invited them for coffee, or you invited them to sit at the table at the next department function? What if you went first instead of waiting for somebody else? What would that look like for you? This is a wild concept to me. I've got to be totally honest. I'm an introvert, despite what you see online. So going first is really hard for me. Sometimes I feel like I'm always the initiator and I get tired. Like, ugh, I don't want to do it. Somebody else, please do it. But you know what? There's so much value in actually being the initiator and going first, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If it's something that you want to do, you should just go for it. Why are we waiting, right? The worst people can say is no. And then you just find somebody else to hang out with, or you just go by yourself. The other thing we're going to talk about today is doing less on purpose on shift days. Very important. So we're going to talk about all of these things because I'm sitting down with Christine Brandt today. She's a SoCal native, married to John, who's been a firefighter with LA City for 10 years. They live in San Diego County with their 2 daughters. She has a background in working in both nutrition and real estate, but she loves getting to stay home with her kids. She just started a YouTube channel where she's documenting what it's like to be a fire family, sharing how her philosophy of doing less on purpose helps her to manage the stress of supporting her firefighter. So, carry on, Fire Family Podcast. Buckle up. I am Audra, your host. If you don't remember, welcome back. Quick housekeeping before we dive in. If you like this episode, and I really think you're going to, please do me a favor and share it with another fire spouse. It really takes just a second. They're going to need it, I promise. So let's dive in with Christine. I'm excited for you to hear all. Okay, Christine, we are going to jump right in today. Hello, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I am so excited to talk to you about the power of saying yes first and some other things that we're going to chat about. But this one, that's the focus today, everybody. Okay, so for people who don't know who you are, me included, give me your 30-second download. Like, tell me all about you and your fire family life.
Sure. I'll do my best. I'm Christine Brandt. My husband is John, and he is with Los Angeles City. And he's been at it for 10, going on 11 years. He has been a firefighter since before we were married. Through dating and being engaged and getting married, I've only ever known being with a firefighter. So that's interesting. We have 2 little girls. We're both from Southern California, LA area, and now we live in San Diego County. So we haven't strayed far, but we love being Californians.
Who doesn't love SoCal, honestly?
I know. I always tell people, you should definitely vacation here if you don't live here.
It's good for the economy too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about that for a second. So you know nothing other than ever being with a firefighter. So it's different for me because my husband was not a firefighter when we started dating. He didn't actually become municipal until after we had 2 of our own kids and my stepdaughter. So
been quite the transition for your
family.
Yes,
it was indeed quite the transition. So for you, give me kind of a glimpse, like what did you expect when you were dating? And then when you had kids, how did that change? How did that evolve?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when we first started dating, we were both 21. So he was like in the fire academy. He knew what he was doing, but I got to kind of see the whole thing unfold. So what it meant for our dating life is just that we dated for a long time because he was like, I want to get hired. I want to get through probation. Now in hindsight, I'm like, that was probably a good call because he didn't have any time for me that year. It would have been hard to be like a newlywed or a new family during the rookie year, so I get that. Um, I expected that being part of the Fire family might start to make more sense as we had kids. I always felt really intimidated going in as the girlfriend or the new wife. I don't know why, because the other women at our station, not all of them are married or have children.
Mhm.
A lot of them are dating or just starting out. But there was just a real intimidation piece for me at the beginning there. And I think that's kind of why it's so important to me to disarm other women who are coming into the station because it's like, it's normal to be nervous at the station.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had expected and hoped that the longer we stayed together, the more comfortable I would get at the station. I knew that it was going to be a lot of solo parenting, heard women talking about that. Nothing could have prepared me for what that actually feels like. My daughters are 2 and 4 right now, so we're really in it, you know.
Yeah, you are. You're in the thick of it.
Yeah. So especially those like 72-hour shifts can be a real stretch. I don't like I said, I don't think anything could have prepared me for that, even though I knew the facts. I knew what I was walking into. Sometimes you just have to live the experience. Yeah.
1,000%. So when you were dating, he went through the academy, went through everything, got hired, all of those things.
Mhm.
And then he's with the same city now that he was before you got married.
Yeah, yeah, he's
Okay.
never transferred. It's
Okay.
funny because we live in San Diego County now, like I said, so that's like one of the main questions we get is, "Are you gonna transfer down here?" And he's like, "I don't really wanna start over."
Yeah.
He really loves his department, and I should say this you're gonna laugh because this is such a fireman thing. He was like, "You have to say, 'My views don't represent the views and opinions of LA City.'" I'm like, "Yeah, duh, okay."
Yeah. I don't even mention my husband's department anymore. That's how.
I know, it can get dicey, but at the same time, I'm like, we're just adults trying to, like, be respectful to other adults. We're gonna have opinions, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. How does well, let's back up for a second. So you started a
Sure.
YouTube channel for
Yes.
fire families. How does your husband feel about that?
He had he's actually very supportive, more
Mhm.
supportive than I expected him to be, because not because he's an unsupportive man, but because I knew he would be like, "Don't get me in trouble with anything you say." So that I expected, and there has been a little bit of that. But he has actually been so supportive because he really believes in my message of connecting fire families together and especially connecting women. He's been a huge advocate for mental health at his station and in his department. And he's like, yeah, if you could spread that on your YouTube channel, go for it. So we do have some boundaries, things like we don't say or wear on camera, but um it's all just to stay above board. For the most part, he's been pretty chill about it. So
And what does the department think?
I don't know.
You
I
know
didn't ask
what?
permission.
You know what? I love that for you. I never asked for permission either. The only permission I ever cared about was my husband, and not even his permission, but it was more like his blessing because he was like, "Yeah, do what you want. I don't care."
Right. Yeah. I mean, I get that you have to be cautious, like when things start to get political. Like
Yeah,
I'm not going to mention people's names online. It's
totally.
it's just like basic adult decency. Like I
Yeah.
said, we're all going to have opinions, and that's what makes human relationship interesting. Like how boring would it be if we were all exactly the same?
Oh my God, I
But
say
if
that
we
all the
can
time.
dialogue about our opinions respectfully, then I don't see why anyone needs to get in trouble. So
I would agree with that completely. Plus, like you and I do not pay union dues, so they can't tell us what to do. Okay.
exactly.
Okay. So you've got your YouTube channel and you're kind of walking through your life as a fire wife with
Yeah,
and a mama. Tell me what made you decide to do this?
sure. I think the push for me actually started about a year ago when I got off of social media. Um, I love your Luke's cup. Huge
Thank you.
Gilmore Girls fan.
Me too.
um, Yeah, so this has nothing to do with, like, being a wife or a mom or it's just like a human process that I was going through. I just started getting really anxious on social media and on my phone. And so I decided to see what it would be like to be off of Instagram for a while. I'm never going to say it's an evil, it's like such an amazing tool. And I miss connecting with people on it, to be honest. But for me personally, I needed to take a step back. And so I started obviously like still want to stay connected, entertained, still want to be able to unplug.
Yeah.
Just started consuming long form content, podcasts, YouTube channels, books. I started reading a lot more. And I realized, like, not only do I wanna consume long form content, I wanna contribute to it,
Mm,
and I think I have something valuable to say in this space. I haven't found a lot of firewives or fire families on YouTube specifically,
mhm.
and so I was like, "Hey, if sharing the realities of my life could help another firewife feel less alone, then I've got a camera, I've got a computer. How hard can it be?" So,
Okay,
that's the plan.
take me back here because I think there are a lot of people in this space right now, and I mean, I can also like relate to this too. Last year, I was so over social media to the point where
Mm.
I had to take a break too, and then subsequently, Carry On Fire Family developed from that break. Um,
Oh, okay. That's good
yeah,
to know.
yeah, and I've heard this from many people where they are just trying to find the value of social media still. You know,
Yeah,
the connection is so different now. The landscape is so different, even from just from a year ago.
yeah.
And I still talk about getting off of social media all the time, but I'm like, well, okay, it's kind of my life right now.
But you've built something really important. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to just
Yeah.
leave all of a sudden.
But so tell me about your experience with being off of the social media for a year. How did that like change
Yeah.
you? Because that's
It
big.
changed me pretty significantly. It really to be honest, there was a period of boredom and depression because I was no longer filling my time. Like
Mm-hmm. You didn't
I
get that
really
dopamine
forced
hit.
myself
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I really forced myself to just sit still. I love being with my kids, but I don't love being on the floor playing with them nonstop.
Yep.
And I think that's like a really normal thing. So if you're another mom that feels that way, you're
Mm-hmm.
not the only one. Um, and so there was an adjustment period for sure.
Yep.
And it didn't make me question like have I done the wrong thing? It just opened my eyes even further like wow, I am so habitually stimulated. This is going to take a minute. And then like I said, I started consuming more complete thoughts. I've always been a reader. I love reading books, but I had noticed the more I was on social media that my attention span for reading was
Yes.
decreasing.
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh, that's a problem because I really love fiction."
Mm-hmm.
Um and so yeah, slowly but surely, my attention span came back. I see a lot of YouTube videos right now, like how I healed my dopamine-driven brain or whatever. Um, yeah, I've experienced it for sure. And I would say that it was an interesting decision. First, I started a newsletter, which I still write, and the YouTube channel now goes along with that for fire families. At first, I was like, is this even worth it? Because how am I going to grow something like this
Mm-hmm.
without social media? And so that's where I come to terms with the fact that it's not an entire evil, it's a tool.
Yeah.
Just like food is a tool, you can you can enjoy food, but if you abuse it, then you run into problems. Um, but if you like if we were just to write off food, we would all be in trouble too. So like tools are meant to be used with balance. And to your point of just like the idea that we can build something really important on social media, I came back on Instagram for about a week there to promote my YouTube channel and I found you and I'm so glad I did. So it's like
Beneficial very
it is
quickly,
a
huh?
balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a balance, and it's one that, I mean, I constantly, like, I literally last night turned on finally, it's funny because, like, my kids all have, the time restrictions on their
Mhm.
apps, and they're 16, 18, 21, like, they're, older, and I
Sure.
never did for whatever reason, and then last night at 10 o'clock, I was like, "Oh, I'm done, like, I've gotta put restrictions on this," so it just reminds me, like, "Hey, you've been on for way too long, you need to go do something with your life," like, I wish I could tell it what to tell me, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
A
because
personalized message.
wouldn't that be fantastic? Like,
Your
"Hey,
pop-up.
yeah, what the hell are you doing? Get off, like, the dishes need to be done," or, whatever, like, "Go read a book," like, something.
What did you want out of your day?
Yeah, seriously, like, "Hey,
That's what it would tell
refocus.
me.
Hi," like
Yeah.
so but it's fascinating to me how quickly you can be, consumed by it and not really even notice how much time has passed, um,
Yeah.
and
And for me, especially because my kids are so young, like,
yeah,
when they see me on my phone, they don't really know if I'm working or playing.
yeah,
And so it's just easier if I reduce
yeah,
the screen time. It's just to them, they see the message that, like, mommy's busy or mommy's available. And so obviously sometimes I have to do important things for the family on
yeah,
my phone. But for the most part, I wanna try and be available to them.
yeah, definitely. Okay, let's talk about the power of going first.
Yeah.
Tell me all about it, 'cause this is so good in the era that we're in
Sure.
now, and just how, people are scared to, I don't wanna say scared, maybe intimidated, like you said, just more don't know how to start, right? So, tell me about the power of going first.
Yeah, I think, this came up when we were chatting about you asked me what I wanted to do with my channel because I was asking for advice. I was like, "You've built such an amazing platform." Um, I I find it really valuable to go first in friendship. So
Mhm,
that's kind of the way that I'm thinking about it. Or just to go first in relationships in general, like there is power in leading with vulnerability. And it is vulnerability because you don't know how the other person's going to respond. But being able to read social cues and see, like, if the person you're interacting with is a healthy person,
mhm,
leading with vulnerability 9 times out of 10 takes me somewhere really special with that person. And so that's kind of the mindset I go in with, when I'm trying to make a new friend, and specifically, it's not that all of my friends are firewives, of course, we all live really far apart. SoCal is a huge place, but we have made it a family value to be friends with the people my husband works with and to
mhm,
make real community outside of the station. Um, and so I find that even though it takes a lot of coordinating and a lot of persistence, um, we have just become kind of the initiators in our friend group. And I think a lot of our friends come to depend on that. I don't know for sure. It's not that we're the only ones who are capable, but we're just my husband and I are both very social and we're both very persistent. Like we will make friends. um
But that's good.
and
I
you know,
mean,
like
that's something a lot of people I think are lacking because they don't wanna go first. They just are like, "Well, it'll come to me, like, it's fine, and if it doesn't come to me, then it wasn't meant to be," but it's like, if you don't actively try, you are probably missing out, right?
yeah, and I mean, I would say that even though I just mentioned I'm a really social person, I'm not an extrovert. At the end of the day, I need to recharge by myself.
Mhm,
Um, but I'm a pretty social introvert. And so I try to just head into any new situation remembering like nobody's thinking about me. Everybody's thinking about themselves. And so, how can I be of service to other women in this situation, whether it's at the fire station or whether it's just at the park around the corner
mhm,
from my house? Like, nobody's thinking about me. How can I relate to the people I'm meeting? And so, a lot of times it just starts with interacting with the littles because, 2 and 4 year olds are really easy to play with, and,
yeah.
"Oh, how old is your kid?" "Oh, same as mine. Do you guys live around here?" "Yeah, me too," and then we're off to the races. My husband loves to to joke, like, "Have you gotten that mom's number yet?" Whenever we walk into a restaurant or something. Because I am always asking for people's numbers, and you know what? No one has ever told me no. Like, I find that because 'cause I'm not a creep about it, but I find that most people are, like, ready and willing to make friends,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I think the power of going first has like so many meanings to it, right? Because it's it especially like in the fire family world, I feel like there's like say you're at the fire station and you're brand new and none of the other spouses walk up to you
Yeah.
and they're all kind of forming their own groups and doing their own thing. And it's like you have to be, like you said, vulnerable enough to step out of your comfort zone and go talk to somebody, right? Go say, "Hi, I'm so
Yeah.
and so." Or you have to be that spouse, that seasoned spouse that recognizes the new person and walks over to them and
Mhm.
says, "Hi, you're blah, blah, blah's significant other.
Yeah.
Welcome. Like, come sit with me, join us, like, let us bring you in kind of
Right.
thing." Um, and then
For sure.
on the other side of that is also going first with our firefighters, right? Because
Mm.
there's a big, I think, sense of us kind of we're always in limbo, right? We're always waiting. The spouses feels like we're always waiting for something, right? We're waiting for
Yes.
them to come home. We're waiting for to find out if they're going on the strike team. We're waiting for the Mando to drop. We're waiting, 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 right?
Uh-huh.
If we take back the power and we go first and we ask the questions, when they're coming off shift, we know that what time they get off work, right? And we say,
Yeah.
"Hey, I know you're on the way home. How was your shift? What
Yeah.
can I do for you today? Like, what do you need when you get home?" Full check-ins, right? That go
Yeah.
so far in a relationship. I think so. There's so many
Yeah.
meanings behind just the power of going first. So I love this concept with you. And I was kind of doing my own research on it too before we got on this call because I was like, wait, this is so good. Like we could write a whole
Yeah,
book
I
about
love that
this.
connection that you drew. I've never thought about it before with my husband, but it's true. Like something that he and I are big mental health advocates. We're
Hmm.
each in individual therapy and we go to couples therapy.
Yay.
And something we talk about with our couples therapist a lot is being in care of each other,
Hmm.
like in one another's care. And so what that looks like for us is trying, and this is really hard in our season of life, but trying to not make it a competition of who had a harder night, trying to not make it a competition of who's more depleted, because the reality is at the end of a 72, we're both as depleted as it gets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But like if we can be brave and willing to just look to the other person and care for them first, then we know that we'll be cared for as well. And so I like that you mentioned that because that's an area I need to grow, is like offering, "What can I do for you?" When really I'm like, "Here are 5 things you could do for me."
Totally. Totally.
And there's
Yeah.
a place for that. Um,
No, but
but
it's
yeah, you're so
mhm,
right.
mhm. It's so interesting because when I know we were talking about kind of the power of going first, like, as a fire wife to other fire wives or other fire
Mhm.
spouses, but it's like that meaning is so different when you put it in the context of like, "Oh, I should also maybe be doing this with my husband or my, whoever my firefighter is," because it's like I think that the communication is can be improved so much better if you just go first and you don't have that competitive mindset. We all are competitive, okay? And I am
Yeah.
very competitive. I don't want to be, but it's just in our nature, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
in our nature to wanna protect ourselves,
yes.
and vulnerability rubs up against that because it
Hmm.
asks you to lay down your defenses, but even going first in your marriage with vulnerability, like, a lot of firefighters, as we know, struggle to open up about traumatizing things they've seen, and how powerful would it be if a wife was able to be that safe space for her husband just by opening up about something she's struggling with?
Yeah.
Um So yeah, you're totally right. It has so many meanings I had never even thought of until now.
Look at that. And I mean, we can flip it too, because firefighters, you can also take note. Like, you can also be the one to go first too. So all of those things, when
Uh-huh.
you're coming off shift, you can send the text and say, hey, I'm on my way home. Do you need anything from me? Like, set it up. Nice communication. It's all about like,
Yes.
totally.
We try and do when he leaves the station, we do like we do a State of the Union, like a quick one,
Yes.
but he'll just be like, I had 3 after, but my recovery score, he likes to wear the Whoop health tracker.
Uh-huh.
My recovery score is this, so I'm at like a 70%. How are you? So just like quick stats.
hmm
So we know what we're walking into.
But it's so helpful. It is so, so
Yes.
helpful. What would your advice be to a new spouse who walks into the station for the first time and at a family
Mhm.
event?
Probably similar to what I said before is that no one's thinking about you, and that's a good thing because it
Mhm.
means that it doesn't matter if your hair is looking great, it doesn't matter what you're wearing, like, everyone's concerned about how they feel, and that should be, like, disarming. It should be permission for everyone to just show up authentically. And then just be brave, If nobody is going first with you, then you can go first, even if you're the newbie. You can walk up to people and shake hands. Like, the firefighters expect to shake everyone's hand, and so that
Mhm.
won't be weird. But even with the spouses or the family members on a holiday, like, it's a little bit of an uncomfortable situation. I would say bring toys if there are gonna be kids, even if they're not your
Mm.
kids,
Mhm.
because that can be disarming too, just to have, like, something, and I'm talking like a holiday where there's, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
multiple families. Um, if there are gonna be kids around, whether they're yours or not, just having something to focus on because there are those moments where, they get a call, and when they get a call, don't freak out. You can just, like, go back to the kitchen, sit down, um,
Yep.
you're not
Mhm.
gonna be in their way, and, just kind of engaging kids in those moments when you feel anxious can be really helpful. So, like, the kids will definitely notice that there's a call, and then you kind of just pick a kid to engage. "Oh, wow, big lights. Let's go say bye." And then they're all gone. "Okay, let's go back to the table and color." I find that having just a little bit of a plan for, like, how we're gonna fill the dead time can help, and sometimes there's just great chemistry, and none of those distractions are needed, and the
Yep.
kids go off and invent their own games. Um, but yeah, if you are partnered to a firefighter and you're entering the station for the first time, like, don't be scared to be a leader. I don't think anybody's gonna find it abrasive if you come at it with, like, a genuine willingness to connect with others, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And, for those who maybe are intimidated by you, you have to remember that it has nothing to do with you. And
Yeah.
that's just how it's going to be. Let's talk about doing less on purpose.
Yes,
This is
I
fascinating.
would love
So,
to.
so on shift days, it's chaos, right?
Yeah.
Especially with you, you've got a 2 and 4 year old. You are literally in the throes of parenthood, and solo 72 hours is insane. So tell me about doing less on purpose.
Yeah, this kind of ties into what I was saying at the top of the show of, like, getting off of social media and consuming more long form content and now creating some long form content. Um, I noticed that when I went through that initial, like, social media detox where I had to deal with some boredom and even some depression, that it wasn't just social media. Like, I just really wanted to fill my life. I had already started deconstructing some of this years earlier, when I found the concept of minimalism. I wasn't raised a minimalist. For whatever reason, when I found it on the internet, I was like, these are my people. It just resonated with me. And I'm not an extreme minimalist, but I declutter pretty regularly and we don't have a ton of extra gadgets. Anyway, that was kind of one seed that was planted mentally for me years ago. And then I started seeing the connections. Like, being a minimalist, being off of social media, really craving open-ended play for my kids. They do get screen time, especially during those 72s.
Yeah.
But, doing my best to set boundaries with it and to prioritize, like, outside time, unstructured playtime, low stimulation toys. I realized that this idea of doing less on purpose was permeating my whole life. Um, I love asking women. I'm part of, the leadership team on our women's ministry at our church, and so one of our icebreakers is, "What's something you don't do as a mom?" And not like a humble brag, like, "I don't do Red 40," but, like, what's something you admire in other women that you're like, "I don't have the capacity. I don't do it, and I can be proud that I don't do it because it makes my yes so much more powerful." So for me, it's like, I don't do gardening, um, but I keep a really tidy house. And so this idea of doing less on purpose just makes the things that I do spend my time on, I
More
can
important.
I can complete a thought, I can
Hmm.
finish a project, and I can give it my all because I'm not thrown in a bunch of different directions. I do anticipate this getting harder as my children get older, and I'm sure you can speak to this. Right now, they don't have extracurricular
Yeah.
activities.
Hmm.
But I do try to, like, monitor, or if we're invited to a birthday party, do I wanna go, or am I just filling the time for them because it's what you
Mm.
do? Like, not being scared of just an unstructured day at home.
Yep.
Um, so hopefully that was a cohesive thought. Those are just kind of
No, it makes
all
total
of
sense.
them.
So, but like for us, I was not scared of the unstructured, but for me, I'm a very structured person. So that
Mhm.
kind of bled into my parenting, especially when the kids were little. So when it came time and I was like, oh, they're old enough to get into soccer or they're old enough to get into softball. So, they're 6 years old and I'm like, let's put them on a team because it gives
Mhm.
them, friend time, it gives them playtime, gives them all this structure, and it also gives me free time, right? Never did I think how much time it was actually going to take away from me and take away from our family
Yeah.
and teach the kids that they weren't supposed to enjoy unstructured time, right?
Yeah.
So and not saying this is every experience, sports are great. I don't regret any of it, but hindsight is more like, yeah, they didn't need to be in that travel ball when they were 10, because
Mm.
the rec league was perfectly fine and they're not going to be a D1 athlete. And it's instead of using that as a structured time, it could have been more as a release for them or a release for me. Because when you get into the thick of it and there's three kids in three different sports and dad is gone for
Yeah.
3 days, I cannot get you to three places at the same time. And now
And I imagine it's hard to quit once you're, like, committed.
yes, it's very hard to quit. And our rule was if you start it, you have to finish it.
Sure,
And
yeah.
so it's one of those things now where you're like, this sounds like a great idea. Let me throw you in Girl Scouts. Let me throw you in this and this and this. And they are great. Don't get me wrong. But if I had taken a step back and said, wait a minute, this is going to give me way less time and make me more
Yeah.
stressed out. And are the kids even enjoying it or are they just doing it because they think they are supposed to? Right. Those are questions I think that a lot of parents, I think, are I'm not gonna say smarter than, but have definitely taken notice a lot more
Mhm.
than being, like waiting a lot longer rather than doing all of those
Yeah.
structured
I mean,
things.
and it's not doing nothing on purpose, it's just
Yeah,
doing less.
doing
So, like,
less.
you find the things that your kids are interested in, and then, like, you have the space in your schedule to go all in,
Yeah.
and to be like, I mean, again, it's pretty easy with a 4-year-old, but she's really into butterflies right now, so I'm like, "Great, let's get some milkweed, let's raise
Yep.
some caterpillars," and, because we didn't have anything else going on. We had time.
Yeah, but you had time and you're like, "Oh, cool. I have capacity for this, right? I can do this and still do all of my other things
Yeah,
and not feel like a depleted mom who like, feels guilty about everything." Because I think that's kind of the
yeah.
our goal, right? Is like, how can we be more of a human and a mom at the same time? That's my goal, at least. now.
Yes. Yes, I really wanna be a human.
And you want to be able to also have that time with friendships and doing, group activities and all that stuff. So, because I like for you, when you said doing less, you also then were like, but look at, we also hang out with the whole station, like my husband's whole
Yeah.
crew, and like we do all this fun stuff together. And I'm like, wait, that's not doing less. That's doing like way fun more. Like, so
Yeah, but like, I think that day that I told you about was on a weekend,
uh-huh.
and I think, like, I don't know for sure, but there were probably families that couldn't make it because they had, games, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But it's just this idea that you can't do it all. You have to decide what you wanna leave space for in your life.
Uh-huh.
Traveling is really important to us, and traveling just really throws a wrench in the schedule because you have to be gone for a week or so, and so,
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, again, I wanna be humble about it because 'cause I've never raised, like, older kids or teenagers, and I know they're gonna have their own interests as they grow,
Totally.
and I'm gonna have to be flexible and, like, let them say yes to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, while I get to call the shots, I'm like, let's pass. Like, we don't I know it's affordable, but you don't really care about ballet yet. Like, if
Yes.
you bring it up next year, then we can do it. Even, like,
Totally.
swim lessons coming up, I my friend was asking me if I wanted to do swim lessons, and I was like, "My kids are both still scared of the water. I would have to get in. I'm gonna wait until they are motivated to take swim lessons by themselves."
Yeah.
I know
Totally.
some parents can't afford to do that because water safety is no joke, but my kids in particular are just really scared of the water.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I totally.
That's kinda random, but yeah, like, your point was doing less frees you up to, like, really do the big fun things that matter to you.
Yeah. And say yes to the things that you actually want to do rather than feel obligated. Right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
totally.
Totally. Okay. What's your advice for doing less on shift days?
Yeah, so I have some rules for myself, because I actually am a pretty structured person as well. So, I don't really cook on shift days. I will, like, wing it off my husband had an unexpected day off recently, and he's like, "We really need groceries." And I was like, "Nah, if you weren't here, we could go 4 more days." He's like, "What would you eat?" I'm like, "Quesadillas, there's always grilled cheese,
Yep.
cheesy eggs." That's 3 meals right there. Um, so we kind of scrounge on
Yeah.
on shift days or just easy food, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I also try to make sure I have in-person connection with another adult every day. That's not always possible. There are
Uh-huh.
always those days where everyone's sick and you just gotta stay home and not see anyone. But, it doesn't have to be like getting a babysitter, but just some sort of connection with an adult is supportive. So, we have, Bible study on Wednesday mornings. I have a lot of, military friends because we live close to Camp Pendleton,
Mm-hmm.
and so, there's always some wife whose husband is deployed. So, like, inviting them to come over and do a co-parenting day where we just, like, throw all the kids together. "Hey, do you have any, like, laptop work you need to get done? Okay, I'll watch them for an hour. You watch them for an hour while I walk the dog." Tag teaming it. Um,
Love that.
and then if really there's nothing going on or there's no one available, making sure that we're at least getting out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So that might not sound like doing less on purpose. Having a touch point with another adult is going to take something off of my plate, even if it's mental,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
where I'm
Totally.
not doing it all by myself. And yeah, those are the main ones that come to mind. Also bedtime. I'm a big again, easy because my kids are young, but I'm a big bedtime mama. It's 7, you're in your room. I'll see you at 7 in the morning.
Yep.
And that helps a ton because that's a good chunk of time to myself right there.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I was like that too. It was like 7:30. You are in your pajamas, you have gotten a bath, you are ready to rock in your bed, reading, doing
Yes.
whatever. I'll see you at 7.
Yeah, it's none of my business.
Exactly. The door is closed. Goodbye. Like, do what you want. What would you say to the mom or dad or whoever the default parent is who is feeling burnt out?
That's a pretty normal experience for parents, especially young parents, I think, and to get help. Like, there's so much help available. And that's not to say that you've done anything wrong because you need help or that it's easy to get help, but it's there. Um, I know that our department has free therapy to every member and spouse. And if not, chances are you've got great insurance and your therapy copay would be about $15 or less.
Mhm.
So I love Rula. I love Headway. Those are both online platforms where you can find therapists pretty easily. And also, just connecting with anyone else in your season of life, I
Mm,
think is really powerful. You don't have to have a plan. Like I said, it can just be at a park. You can just ask how old their kids are and see if it strikes up conversation. But finding any sort of similarity with someone else in your season of life is really powerful to remind you that you're not alone.
yep. I love that.
Yeah.
Um, okay, last question. I ask everybody this question.
Okay.
What do you want your legacy to be as a mom, wife, daughter, whatever, worker?
Yeah. I want to be someone who's known for being truly committed to the things she says yes to
Mm,
and really enjoying her yes and being of service to others because of all the stuff I said no to.
I love that.
I just came up with that on the fly.
No, it was so good. Are you
I'm
kidding?
I'm relieved because I was like, I remembered hearing you ask this on a couple of your episodes, and I was like, I should have prepared for this as soon as you started saying it. But I think I did okay.
No, that was a great answer. Dialed in like like you had prepared. Okay, good job.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and your YouTube is just your is it just
Christine Brandt.
Christine Brandt? Yeah, super easy. Um, so you can go subscribe, everybody, and also subscribe to my channel too. Okay, so you get 2-in-1 special for today's episode. Um, any final thoughts?
I think so. I'm so grateful that you shared your platform with me today. I really love your message. I've been
Thank you.
enjoying your podcast a lot.
Good, thank you.
And yeah, I would love to connect with anybody who wants to talk more about these things. I'm on Substack as well as YouTube at Christine Brandt.
Substack. Oh gosh. I haven't gone on it in a while, but I need to get back into it because I really like the content on Substack because the long form
Yeah,
content
it's
is
kind of like it feels like blogging again.
yes, it totally is 100%. Yes. All right, everybody.
Yeah, it's
Go
fun.
subscribe to Christine's channel. I'll have it in the show notes for you. And then if you like today's episode, you can share it with another firewife or another fire spouse, and we can all bring this lovely community of fire spouses that are online into real life, into your hometowns, so you can go hang out
Amen.
in person, not on the computer. Okay, not on your phone. In human. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.